There was a man who married a woman 25 years younger than him. Everyone warned him that she had married him for his wealth, believing she would inherit millions after his death. But she was shocked when she heard the announcement of his will. The man's name was Marcel. He didn't care about his appearance or looks and lived a simple, ascetic life. Anyone who saw him would think he was poor. He lived in a French village on the border and owned all the lands of that village. Yet he lived alone in a small wooden cabin on the mountain, without electricity or any sign of luxury. As for the lands he owned, he did not use them for himself. Instead, he gave them to the poor villagers to cultivate and live from, without taking any money from them. Because of this, he was very beloved among the villagers. One day, a woman from Paris named Sandra came to him. She told him that his lands were worth millions and that a real estate company wanted to buy them to turn them into a world-class resort. She told him she was a broker who could facilitate the sale in exchange for a percentage of the profit. He refused her offer completely and said, "It is impossible for me to sell these lands. They belong to the poor people of the village, and I will not let them be displaced for your luxury resort." The woman was disappointed by his refusal, but she did not give up. She tried to use her beauty to seduce him and get close to him so that he would marry her. Marcel had never married before and had no romantic experience, so it was easy for her to win his heart and convince him to marry her. She married him despite the large age gap of 25 years. Despite the villagers warning him that she wanted him only for his property, he insisted that she married him out of love. What he did not know was that she actually hated him deeply. She told her friends that she was married to an ugly man living a primitive life, as if from the Middle Ages. She refused to live in his modest cabin and spent most of her time in Paris, only visiting him in the village occasionally. This marriage lasted 15 months, until one day, while she was in the car with him and a friend driving, they had a serious accident. Marcel died in the accident, while his wife and friend only suffered minor injuries. Initially, she was accused of orchestrating the accident to seize the inheritance, but the police found no evidence proving that the accident was deliberate, and the investigation was eventually closed. All the villagers mourned his death, as he had been beloved by them. The only person who was happy about his death was his wife, who announced to the villagers to prepare to leave their homes quickly, believing that after the will was announced, they would be evicted from the lands. She thought everything would go to her, but she was in for a huge shock when her husband's will was revealed. He had left his entire fortune to his cousin's daughter, the only surviving member of his family. He also instructed that none of the poor villagers be evicted from their lands under any circumstances, and he left them official deeds to the homes they lived in so that no one could displace them in the future. At the end of his will, he wrote a single sentence that astonished everyone. "My widow wife shall not receive a single penny from my estate." His wife went mad upon hearing the will and decided to file a lawsuit against the villagers, accusing them of forging the will. She claimed in court that her husband was mentally unstable and had been tricked into giving them his property. The case dragged on in court for 5 years. In the end, the judge ruled the will to be valid. As a result, the woman walked away with nothing, no money, no lands, after wasting years of her life chasing greed. And so, her story ended, as the proverb says, "He who covets everything gets nothing."